Welcome back to Nighttime History, dear travellers. Tonight we're stepping through the cobbled streets of ancient Rome as the first golden rays of sunlight stretch across the seven hills. You will experience the quiet ritual of opening a small Roman shop at sunrise, feeling the cool morning air on your skin as you prepare for another day of commerce in the Eternal City. Thank you for joining us on this peaceful journey back in time. Settle in, close your eyes, and let yourself drift into the rhythms of daily life 2,000 years ago. The wooden shutters creak softly as you slide them open, their iron hinges singing a familiar morning song. Cool air flows into your small shop, carrying the scent of fresh bread from the bakery 3 doors down and the earthy smell of the Tiber River that winds through the city below. Your bare feet touch the cold stone threshold as you step outside to begin the day's first ritual. You reach for the straw broom leaning against the doorframe. The bristles whisper against the smooth stones as you sweep dust and debris from yesterday's business out into the narrow street. Each stroke moves in slow, deliberate arcs, clearing away olive pits, pottery shards, and the occasional coin that rolled away from a customer's purse. The rhythmic scraping sound mingles with the distant call of roosters and the soft padding of early risers making their way to the public baths. Most people think Roman shops were grand marble halls, but actually most were tiny spaces barely wider than your outstretched arms. Your shop measures just 12 feet across and 15 feet deep, typical for the ground floor of an insular apartment building. The walls rise up into living quarters above, where entire families crowd into rooms smaller than modern closets. As you sweep, the sun climbs higher, painting the opposite wall in warm amber light. The street begins to stir with life. A slave boy hurries past, carrying 2 large amphora of wine, their clay surfaces still cool with morning dew. His bare feet slap against the stones in a steady rhythm that echoes off the narrow walls surrounding you. You finish sweeping and step back inside to arrange your wares. Clay oil lamps sit in neat rows on wooden shelves that your father built when he first opened this shop 30 years ago. Each lamp bears a simple design pressed into the clay before firing. Some show gladiators in combat, others display dolphins or vine leaves. The terracotta surfaces feel smooth and cool under your fingers as you turn each one to face forward, their filling holes pointing toward potential customers. Behind the oil lamps, small glass bottles catch the morning light. These contain perfumed oils imported from distant provinces, rose oil from Rhodes, cedar essence from Lebanon, and exotic spikenard from India. Each bottle no bigger than your thumb represents weeks of travel across dangerous roads and stormy seas. The glass itself tells a story most customers never hear. Roman glassmakers discovered how to create clear glass just 50 years ago, though they still guard their secrets carefully. You lift a wooden tray of bronze fibulae from beneath the counter. These decorative brooches fasten Roman clothing in ways modern people rarely understand. Without buttons or zippers, Romans rely entirely on pins, brooches, and careful draping to keep their garments secure. Each fibula in your collection displays different craftsmanship. Some feature simple geometric patterns hammered into the bronze. Others show intricate animal designs with tiny silver inlay work. The sound of cartwheels on stone announces the arrival of your supplier. Marcus arrives every 3rd day with fresh goods loaded in a 2-wheeled cart pulled by a sturdy mule. The animal's hooves click against the pavement in an uneven rhythm, occasionally striking sparks from the harder stones. Marcus calls out a greeting in his gravelly voice, worn rough by years of haggling in the forum. He unloads several amphorae marked with painted inscriptions that identify their contents and origin. Garum fish sauce from Hispania, olive oil from southern Gaul, and honeyed wine from Greek islands. Each amphora weighs as much as a small child when full, their pointed bottoms designed to nestle securely in ship holds during long sea voyages. You examine the wax seals on each container, checking for tampering or damage. Honest merchants stake their reputations on these seals remaining intact from producer to final sale. A broken seal means spoiled goods, lost profit, and angry customers who spread word of your unreliability throughout the neighborhood. The morning air grows warmer as more shops open around you. The metalsmith next door begins heating his forge, sending wisps of charcoal smoke drifting past your doorway. 2 streets over, the fuller starts his work cleaning wool cloth in large vats of urine. The sharp ammonia scent will grow stronger as the day progresses, but Romans consider this the mark of thorough cleaning. Your first customer appears as the sun reaches the height of the buildings across the street. She is a middle-aged woman wrapped in a deep blue stola, her greying hair pinned back with ivory combs. Silver bracelets jangle softly on her wrists as she examines your oil lamps. Her movements are unhurried, deliberate, those of someone accustomed to household management and careful spending. She lifts a lamp decorated with a theatrical mask and turns it in the light. Her fingers trace the raised design while she considers the purchase. Roman women handle most household buying, despite what popular movies suggest about their limited freedoms. This customer knows lamp quality better than many shop owners, having purchased hundreds over decades of managing her family's lighting needs. Let us stop here for a moment, fellow night travelers. If you are enjoying this peaceful journey through ancient Rome, please consider joining our community by subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications for future adventures. A like on this video helps us continue creating these calming historical escapes. We would love to know in the comments where you are settling in to listen tonight and what time it is in your corner of the world. Now let us return to our Roman morning. The customer sets down the theatrical lamp and reaches for one decorated with dolphins. These sea creatures held special meaning for Romans, representing safe passage and divine protection. Neptune's dolphins guided souls across dangerous waters, both literal and spiritual. She nods approvingly at the craftsmanship and asks your price in the cultured Latin of educated citizens. You quote 12 sestertii, knowing she will negotiate. Bargaining represents an expected social ritual, not rudeness. She counters with 8 sestertii, her tone respectful but firm. You settle at 10 sestertii, both parties satisfied with the dance of commerce. She produces a small leather purse from beneath her stola and counts out the bronze coins. Each sestertius bears the current emperor's profile on one side and various symbols of imperial power on the reverse. As she leaves with her purchase wrapped in cloth, you notice how her leather sandals make almost no sound on the stones. Quality Roman footwear featured thin soles that allowed wearers to feel the ground beneath their feet, providing better balance on uneven surfaces than thick modern shoes. A young slave enters next, sent by his master to purchase lamp oil. His tunic is simple undyed wool, marking his status clearly to everyone he meets. He carries a small clay jug with a narrow neck, designed specifically for transporting oil without spillage. You fill it from a larger amphora using a bronze ladle that belonged to your grandfather. The boy pays with copper coins called asses, worth much less than silver or gold. but perfectly acceptable for small purchases. Romans actually used a complex system of currency that most people today find confusing. 4 asses equaled 1 sestertius, 25 denarii equaled 1 aureus, but exchange rates fluctuated based on silver purity, imperial proclamations, and regional availability. More customers arrive as the morning progresses. A construction worker seeks sturdy work lamps that burn for long hours. A young bride's mother examines decorative pieces for an upcoming wedding feast. Each person brings different needs, social expectations, and spending power to your small shop. The rhythms of Roman commerce flow around you like a gentle river. Coins change hands with soft metallic whispers. Conversations blend Latin with loanwords from Greek, Celtic, and Germanic languages as the empire's diverse peoples conduct daily business. Clay vessels clink together as customers examine your wares. Wooden shelves creak under the weight of merchandise that traveled hundreds of miles to reach this neighborhood corner. Above you, the sounds of family life drift down from the upper floors. Children's voices mix with the domestic clatter of morning meal preparation. Someone drops a ceramic bowl. It's breaking sharp against the softer background noise. A baby cries briefly before finding comfort at its mother's breast. The morning light shifts as clouds pass overhead, alternately brightening and dimming your shop's interior. Romans built their cities without the uniform street lighting modern people take for granted. Natural light governed daily rhythms in ways few today can imagine. Business flourished when the sun shone directly into shop fronts, and slowed when shadows fell across doorways. You run your fingers along the wooden shelves your father carved from imported cedar, feeling the smooth grooves worn by decades of sliding merchandise back and forth. The wood still carries a faint aromatic scent that helps repel insects from your precious inventory. Most people imagine Roman shops displayed goods haphazardly, but actually successful merchants arranged everything according to strict principles of visibility, accessibility, and theft prevention. Your most valuable items occupy the highest shelves, safely out of reach from wandering hands. Delicate glass perfume bottles nestle in specially carved wooden holders that prevent them from rolling or tipping. Each holder cradles its bottle at precisely the right angle to catch morning sunlight, making the colored glass sparkle like jewels. Emerald green bottles from Alexandria, deep blue ones from Syrian workshops, and clear crystal vessels that cost more than most Romans earn in a month. The middle shelves hold your bread and butter merchandise. Bronze mirrors polished to perfect smoothness reflect fragments of light around your shop's interior. These mirrors require daily attention as Roman bronze tarnishes quickly in humid air. You buff each surface with soft wool cloth treated with a mixture of ash and oil, a technique passed down through generations of metalworkers. Combs made from carved bone occupy an entire section, their teeth cut so fine they can remove the smallest parasites from wealthy hair. Contrary to popular belief, Romans were obsessed with cleanliness and personal grooming. They bathed daily when possible and considered unkempt appearance a sign of moral failure. Your bone combs come from water buffalo horn imported from distant Egypt, where craftsmen spend weeks carving each piece by hand. Wooden boxes line the lower shelves, each containing different grades of cosmetics. Powdered chalk mixed with white lead creates the pale complexion Roman women prize above sun-darkened skin. The lead powder feels silky between your fingers, but carries dangers Romans do not yet understand. Centuries will pass before physicians connect this cosmetic to the trembling hands and confused minds of aging aristocratic women. In one corner, ceramic amphorae stand like silent soldiers in neat rows. Each vessel's distinctive shape immediately identifies its contents to experienced eyes. Tall, narrow ones hold olive oil from Spanish groves. Short, wide-mouthed jars contain garum, the fermented fish sauce that Romans pour on everything. Like modern people, use salt. The largest amphorae hold ordinary wine for customers who cannot afford vintages from famous vineyards. You check the wax seals on each amphora daily, looking for hairline cracks that signal spoilage. Roman preservation methods work remarkably well, but they require constant vigilance. A broken seal means bacteria has entered the container, turning valuable wine into expensive vinegar overnight. The loss of even one amphora could devastate a small merchant's weekly profits. Behind your counter, shallow wooden drawers slide silently on bronze runners. Each drawer contains a different category of small goods, organized with mathematical precision. Bronze needles sharp enough to pierce the finest silk occupy the top drawer, sorted by length and thickness. Roman women did most sewing by lamplight, making needle quality crucial for preventing eye strain and pricked fingers. The second drawer holds bronze tweezers of various sizes, delicate ones for plucking unwanted facial hair, larger ones for removing splinters, and specialized versions designed for medical procedures. Roman physicians rely heavily on these instruments for treating everything from infected wounds to difficult births. Most people assume ancient medicine was primitive, but actually, Roman surgical tools rival modern instruments in design and effectiveness. Tiny bronze spoons fill the third drawer, each no longer than your thumb. These serve for applying cosmetics, measuring medicines, and eating delicate foods that might stain fingers. Wealthy Romans never touch food directly during formal meals, considering it barbaric behavior suitable only for slaves and foreigners. Wooden shelving along the back wall displays textiles in careful arrangements. Silk scarves from distant China catch even the faintest light with their lustrous threads. The silk trade represents one of history's most remarkable commercial networks, connecting Roman shops like yours to mulberry groves thousands of miles away. A single silk scarf costs more than most Romans earn in 3 months, making it accessible only to the wealthiest customers. Linen cloth from Egyptian flax occupies the middle section, its fibres so fine they feel almost weightless in your hands. Egyptian weavers guard their techniques jealously, producing fabric so sheer it seems translucent. Roman ladies wear these linens as undergarments beneath their woolen stolus, creating layers that provide both warmth and status display. Wool from Spanish sheep fills the lower textile section. These fabrics come pre-dyed in colours that cost fortunes to produce. Deep purple from murex shells requires crushing thousands of sea snails to create enough dye for a single garment. Only senators and their families may legally wear this shade, making it more valuable than gold by weight. Your storage system extends far beyond visible shelves. Beneath the shop floor, a small cellar keeps temperature-sensitive goods cool during summer heat. Clay vessels filled with olive oil rest on wooden racks that elevate them above any moisture that might seep through the stone walls. The constant temperature prevents the oil from turning rancid and maintains its golden colour that customers associate with quality. Hanging from the ceiling, dried herbs and spices sway gently in cloth bundles. Cinnamon bark from Ceylon, black pepper from India, and ginger root from mysterious lands beyond Roman knowledge. These spices cost more than their weight in silver, transforming ordinary food into luxurious feasts. You measure them grain by grain using tiny bronze scales, sensitive enough to detect the weight of a single seed. Glass bottles containing liquid medicines line a special locked cabinet. Opium dissolved in wine for surgical procedures, willow bark extract for fever reduction, and various herbal tinctures for women's ailments. Roman medicine combines careful observation with religious ritual, creating treatments that sometimes work through pure chance rather than understanding. Metal goods occupy their own section, organized by alloy and function. Bronze items dominate because iron rusts too quickly in Rome's humid climate. Cooking pots, serving vessels, and decorative objects all show the reddish gleam of quality bronze alloy. The metal feels substantial in your hands, its weight reassuring customers of durability and value. Silver pieces rest in a locked wooden chest reinforced with iron bands. Eating utensils, jewelry, and religious objects made from precious metal require maximum security. Roman law punishes theft of silver goods with crucifixion, but desperate people still risk everything for items worth years of ordinary wages. Your display techniques follow principles learned through generations of successful selling. Items placed at eye level sell fastest, so you position your most profitable goods accordingly. Bright objects near the shop entrance catch attention from passing pedestrians. Expensive items group together to create an impression of overall quality and respectability. Color coordination plays a crucial role in Roman retail psychology. Earth tones suggest stability and tradition, appealing to conservative customers who distrust change. Bright reds and yellows attract younger buyers seeking fashionable novelties. Deep blues and purples appeal to wealthy clients who can afford rare dyes and exotic materials. The arrangement changes subtly throughout the day as natural light shifts across your shop. Morning displays emphasize practical items for daily use. Midday arrangements highlight luxury goods for leisured shoppers. Evening selections focus on lamps, candles, and other products needed for nighttime activities. You maintain detailed mental records of every item's location, value, and source. Roman merchants rarely use written inventories, relying instead on trained memory and physical organization systems. You can locate any specific item in complete darkness, a skill developed through years of practice and necessity. Storage containers themselves represent significant investments. Well-made wooden boxes last decades with proper care. Quality ceramic vessels resist cracking and provide excellent protection for fragile contents. Bronze containers offer maximum security, but cost substantially more than wood or clay alternatives. Your shop represents a complex ecosystem of international trade, local craftsmanship, and consumer psychology. Every item tells a story of distant production, dangerous transportation, and careful preservation. The Roman economy depends on thousands of small merchants like you, each serving as the final link in supply chains spanning 3 continents. As afternoon shadows begin lengthening across the shop floor, you mentally calculate the day's potential profits. Each sale brings satisfaction beyond mere monetary gain. You provide essential goods that improve daily life throughout your neighborhood, connecting global commerce to individual Roman households through your careful curation and knowledgeable service. The leather money pouch at your belt grows heavier as the afternoon progresses, its weight shifting against your hip with each customer transaction. You untie the drawstring and examine the collection of coins accumulated since dawn, their metallic surfaces warm from your body heat. Each piece tells a different story of imperial power, economic policy, and the vast network of mints scattered across the Roman world. Your fingers sort through the bronze cestati automatically, feeling for the telltale signs of genuine imperial coinage. Authentic coins bear sharp, clean edges where skilled die cutters carved intricate details into hardened steel. The emperor's profile stands in crisp relief, every curl of hair and fold of drapery precisely rendered. Counterfeit coins feel different under experienced fingertips, their softer metals yielding blurred images and rounded edges that betray inferior craftsmanship. Most people assume Roman coins were simple copper discs, but actually the monetary system operated with mathematical precision that would impress modern economists. Bronze asses form the foundation, with 4 asses equaling 1 brass sestertius. 4 sestertii equal 1 silver denarius, while 25 denarii equal 1 gold aureus. This complex hierarchy reflects Rome's sophisticated understanding of relative metal values and international trade requirements. A well-dressed customer approaches your counter, carrying a small silver denarius between her thumb and forefinger. The coin catches afternoon sunlight streaming through your doorway, revealing the goddess Victory holding a laurel wreath on the reverse side. She examines a bronze mirror priced at 16 sestertii, her practiced eye calculating the exchange rate automatically. Romans learn monetary mathematics from childhood, developing mental arithmetic skills that surpass many modern citizens. You accept her denarius and count out change in sestertii, the bronze coins clinking softly as they stack in your palm. The sound of metal on metal creates a musical rhythm that accompanies Roman commerce throughout the empire. Each coin bears microscopic imperfections from its journey through countless hands, tiny scratches and wear patterns that authenticate its circulation history. The weight of each coin provides another verification method. Standard denarii contain precisely 3.9 grams of silver, alloyed with small amounts of copper for durability. Imperial mints maintain strict quality control, employing master assayers who can detect silver purity by touch alone. Merchants who accept underweight coins face devastating losses when other traders refuse the debased currency. A young apprentice from the bakery next door arrives with a handful of tiny copper quadrans, the smallest denomination in regular circulation. 4 quadrans equal 1 as, making them perfect for purchasing single bread rolls or cups of posca, the sour wine that working people drink. His coins bear simple designs suitable for mass production, lacking the artistic sophistication of higher denominations. You count his quadrans carefully, their copper surfaces green with verdigris from exposure to moisture and salt air. Contrary to popular belief, Romans did not consider tarnished coins defective. The green patina actually proves authenticity, as counterfeiters struggle to replicate the complex chemical reactions that create natural aging patterns. Regional variations in coinage reflect the empire's vast geographical scope. Coins from Alexandria bear Greek inscriptions alongside Latin text, acknowledging Egypt's distinct cultural identity within Roman political control. Spanish silver shows traces of local mining techniques that produce subtly different alloy compositions. Gallic bronze contains tin ratios that vary from Italian standards, creating coins with distinctive coloration and ring when dropped. The afternoon brings a merchant from distant Gaul seeking to exchange his provincial currency for Roman imperial issues. His coins bear unfamiliar designs featuring local deities and Celtic symbols, but their silver content matches imperial standards exactly. Roman monetary policy demonstrates remarkable flexibility, accepting local variations while maintaining empire-wide stability through standardized metal weights. You test his silver using a small touchstone kept beneath your counter, scratching each coin's edge against the dark mineral surface. Pure silver leaves bright streaks that remain unchanged when touched with nitric acid. Debased alloys produce different colored marks that reveal their copper content immediately. This testing method, developed by ancient goldsmiths, provides instant authentication without damaging valuable coins. Negotiation customs vary significantly based on customer social status and purchase value. Wealthy patricians expect respectful haggling that acknowledges their superior position while allowing face-saving price adjustments. You quote initial prices approximately 30% above your minimum acceptable amount, leaving room for dignified bargaining that satisfies aristocratic expectations. Middle-class customers engage in more vigorous negotiations, viewing successful bargaining as proof of their commercial sophistication. They arrive prepared with market knowledge gathered from neighboring shops, armed with competing price quotes and quality comparisons. These interactions require careful balance between firmness and flexibility, maintaining profit margins while building long-term customer relationships. Working-class buyers approach transactions with straightforward directness that reflects their limited time and resources. They know current market rates precisely and rarely waste effort on elaborate bargaining rituals. A simple nod or shake of the head communicates their acceptance or rejection of quoted prices with brutal efficiency. Slaves purchasing goods for their masters present unique challenges requiring diplomatic skills. They possess no personal authority to negotiate but face punishment if they pay excessive prices. You quote fair rates immediately, avoiding bargaining games that might endanger these vulnerable customers. Their grateful expressions reveal appreciation for merchants who treat them with basic human dignity. Payment methods extend beyond simple coin exchange into complex credit arrangements that would surprise modern observers. Established customers often purchase goods against future harvests, seasonal business cycles, or inheritance expectations. You maintain careful mental records of these obligations, tracking payment schedules that sometimes extend across multiple years. Wealthy customers occasionally pay using precious objects instead of currency. Gold jewelry, silver vessels, and carved gemstones serve as portable wealth that converts easily into standard denominations. You keep small scales for weighing precious metals. Their bronze arms balance so precisely they detect weight differences measured in individual grains. Barter transactions still occur, despite Rome's sophisticated monetary system. Rural customers offer grain, olive oil, or woolen cloth in exchange for manufactured goods unavailable in countryside markets. These trades require extensive knowledge of seasonal price fluctuations, transportation costs, and storage requirements that complicate simple monetary calculations. The late afternoon brings increasing urgency to transactions as customers rush to complete purchases before sunset. Roman law prohibits most commercial activity after dark, creating deadline pressure that benefits merchants willing to maintain flexible negotiating positions. Prices often drop significantly in the final hour before closing, as perishable goods must sell or spoil overnight. Foreign currencies occasionally appear from traders representing distant kingdoms beyond Roman control. Persian gold pieces, Indian silver, and barbaric bronze tokens from Germanic tribes require careful evaluation using weight, purity tests and current exchange rates posted in the forum. These exotic coins often command premium prices from collectors fascinated by distant lands. Forgery represents a constant threat requiring perpetual vigilance from experienced merchants. Counterfeiters use lead cores covered with thin silver plating to create coins that fool casual inspection. Others file genuine silver pieces to remove precious metal while maintaining original appearance. Your fingertips develop sensitivity capable of detecting microscopic differences in weight and surface texture. Military veterans often pay using special donative coins issued during imperial celebrations or military victories. These commemorative pieces contain standard silver content but bear unique designs celebrating specific campaigns or achievements. Collectors prize such coins highly, creating secondary markets when numismatic value exceeds face value significantly. Small denomination transactions require particular attention to prevent losses that accumulate devastating totals over time. Copper and bronze coins tarnish, wear down, and sometimes break during handling, reducing their actual value below nominal amounts. Successful merchants develop systematic approaches for managing small currency that maintains profitability despite individual transaction losses. The day's final customer arrives carrying a gold aureus worth 100 sestertii, seeking to purchase items totaling less than half that amount. Gold coins rarely circulate in daily commerce due to their enormous value, appearing mainly during major transactions like property sales or dowry payments. You examine the aureus carefully, noting its perfect preservation and crisp imperial portraits that suggest recent minting. Creating change for gold purchases requires substantial bronze and silver reserves that strain small merchants' working capital. You count out precise combinations of sestertii and denarii, the mathematical complexity demanding complete concentration to avoid costly errors. The customer watches patiently, understanding that accuracy takes precedence over speed when dealing with such valuable sums. As evening shadows lengthen across your shop floor, you begin the daily ritual of counting and securing the day's earnings. Each coin receives individual attention as you sort them by denomination, metal content, and issuing authority. The bronze pieces stack with satisfying solidity, while silver coins ring with pure metallic tones that confirm their authenticity one final time. The bronze coins slip through your fingers like whispered secrets as you secure them in your strongbox, each denomination finding its designated compartment through muscle memory developed over countless evenings. Outside, the familiar sound of Gaius's sandals echoes against the stone pavement as he makes his daily circuit through the neighborhood. His gait carries the slight shuffle of advancing age, but his voice remains strong as he calls out evening greetings to shopkeepers preparing to close. Gaius appears in your doorway right on schedule, just as he has every evening for the past 12 years. His weathered face bears the permanent squint of someone who spent decades reading documents in dim light, back when he served as a scribe in the provincial governor's office. Now retired on a modest pension, he maintains rigid daily routines that structure his remaining years with comforting predictability. He nods toward the oil lamp section with practiced familiarity, knowing exactly which shelf holds the plain, undecorated lamps he prefers. Gaius considers ornate designs wasteful vanity, a philosophy shaped by years of government service where efficiency mattered more than beauty. His calloused fingers examine each lamp methodically, checking for cracks in the clay body, and ensuring the wick holes allow proper flame adjustment. Most people imagine Roman customers shopped randomly throughout the day, but actually, distinct social rhythms governed commercial activity with clockwork precision. Early morning belonged to slaves and servants conducting household business before their masters awakened. Mid-morning brought middle-class matrons who managed family finances with careful attention to seasonal price fluctuations and quality comparisons between competing merchants. The noon hour attracted working men during their brief meal breaks, purchasing quick snacks or replacing broken tools needed for afternoon labour. Wealthy customers appeared during the leisurely hours after midday rest, when social obligations and political meetings left time for careful shopping and extended conversations with favoured merchants. Gaius pays for his lamp with exact change counted from a small leather purse worn smooth by years of handling. His coins bear the portraits of 3 different emperors, accumulated gradually as imperial succession changed the faces on new currency, while older pieces remained in circulation. Romans rarely discarded functional money simply because political leadership changed, creating mixed collections that told personal histories through metallic portraits. As Gaius departs with his purchase wrapped in worn cloth, young Marcus arrives with the boundless energy of 15 years and recent freedom from his afternoon tutoring session. His tunic bears the purple stripe indicating his father's senatorial rank, but grass stains on the fabric reveal his preference for playing with neighbourhood children over maintaining aristocratic dignity. Marcus examines your selection of writing supplies with the intense concentration of youth discovering adult responsibilities. His father recently announced plans to send him to Athens for advanced rhetorical training, making quality styluses and wax tablets essential equipment for academic success. Unlike older customers who shop from necessity, Marcus approaches each purchase as an adventure, requiring careful investigation of all available options. The bronze styluses catch his attention first, their pointed ends gleaming with a recent polishing. Roman students learn to write by scratching letters into soft wax spread across wooden tablets, erasing mistakes by smoothing the surface with the stylus's flat end. Marcus tests the balance of several instruments, holding them as scribes do, to evaluate their weight distribution during extended writing sessions. His youthful enthusiasm masks sophisticated understanding of quality indicators developed through expensive education. He recognizes that superior bronze contains higher tin ratios that produce harder points resistant to wear. Cheap styluses made from inferior alloys quickly develop blunt tips that create illegible scratches instead of clean letter formations. Across the street, old Helena begins her evening ritual of criticizing every merchant's closing procedures from her second-story window. Her voice carries clearly in the still air as she comments on dust left unswept, goods arranged carelessly, and shutters closed too hastily. Most people consider her complaints mere elderly fussiness, but actually Helena served as head housekeeper for Senator Brutus's family for 30 years before retirement, developing standards that professional experience validates completely. Her sharp eyes catch details that younger observers miss entirely. She notices when oil lamp wicks need trimming, when bronze mirrors require polishing, and when ceramic vessels show hairline cracks that predict future breakage. Merchants initially resented her constant commentary, but gradually learned to value her observations as free quality control inspections. Marcus completes his stylus purchase and hurries home before darkness makes street travel dangerous for unaccompanied youth. Roman parents maintained strict curfews for children, understanding that night brings risks from criminals, wild animals that wander into urban areas, and simple accidents caused by poor visibility on uneven pavement. The approaching evening brings different customer categories with distinct shopping patterns shaped by work schedules and social obligations. Tavern keepers arrive, seeking last-minute supplies needed for night business, when their establishments fill with off-duty soldiers, visiting merchants and local residents seeking entertainment after long workdays. Lucius pushes through your doorway, carrying the distinctive smell of wine and cooking food that marks all tavern operators. His thick fingers bear permanent stains from handling amphorae filled with various beverages, while his leather apron shows spatters from countless meal preparations. Despite his rough appearance, Lucius possesses sophisticated knowledge of customer preferences and seasonal demand patterns that would impress modern marketing professionals. He examines your stock of bronze serving vessels with practiced efficiency, selecting pieces based on durability rather than decorative appeal. Tavern customers treat equipment roughly, making delicate craftsmanship poor investment compared to sturdy functionality. Lucius tests each vessel's weight and balance, ensuring servers can carry multiple pieces without dropping expensive inventory during busy evening rushes. His purchasing decisions reflect deep understanding of Roman drinking customs that most foreigners completely misunderstand. Contrary to popular belief, Romans rarely consumed undiluted wine, considering such behavior barbaric and dangerous. Instead, they mixed wine with water in ratios ranging from 1:1 for strong drinks to 1:8 for mild refreshments suitable for extended social gatherings. Lucius selects bronze mixing bowls designed specifically for blending wine and water in proper proportions. The vessels feature measurement marks inscribed during manufacturing that eliminate guesswork and ensure consistent quality across different serving staff. Professional establishments stake their reputations on maintaining exact mixing standards that regular customers expect without variation. As full darkness approaches, emergency customers arrive seeking essential items needed for unexpected situations. A young mother hurries in, clutching a crying infant, desperately seeking medicinal herbs for treating childhood fever. Her husband follows closely, his face tight with worry that reveals parental fear, transcending social class distinctions. Romans face constant anxiety about childhood mortality that modern parents cannot fully comprehend. Nearly half of all children die before reaching age 5 from diseases, accidents, and nutritional deficiencies that contemporary medicine prevents easily. Every fever represents potential tragedy, making effective remedies worth any reasonable cost. You direct her to willow bark powder, known for reducing dangerous temperatures, while explaining proper dosage calculated by child's weight and age. Roman medical knowledge combines empirical observation with religious ritual, creating treatments that sometimes succeed through accurate botanical understanding rather than supernatural intervention. The desperate parents pay premium prices without negotiation, their urgency overriding normal bargaining customs entirely. Crisis situations reveal how commercial relationships transcend simple profit, seeking to provide essential community services during vulnerable moments when professional medical care remains unavailable or prohibitively expensive. Night workers begin appearing as legitimate commerce winds down and shadow economy activities increase. Women who earn money through domestic services approach your shop seeking supplies needed for nighttime cleaning and maintenance work in wealthy households. Their quiet voices and careful movements reflect awareness that respectable society frowns upon females travelling alone after dark. These customers represent Rome's invisible workforce that maintains urban civilization through labour performed while proper citizens sleep safely in their beds. They purchase oil for lamps that illuminate their work, cleaning supplies for removing evidence of aristocratic excess, and personal items needed for maintaining minimal dignity despite society's contempt for their necessary services. Their copper coins feel different from daytime currency, worn smoother by more frequent handling, as small wages circulate rapidly among people who cannot afford to accumulate savings. Each transaction carries weight beyond monetary value, representing survival rather than convenience or luxury consumption. The final customer category consists of individuals whose activities blur the boundaries between legal commerce and criminal enterprise. They arrive just before closing time, seeking items with multiple potential uses that provide plausible explanations for suspicious purchases. Bronze knives suitable for food preparation or self-defense, rope strong enough for legitimate lifting or illegal restraint, oil lamps that illuminate honest work or clandestine meetings. Roman law enforcement operates primarily during daylight hours, when magistrates hold court and city guards patrol main thoroughfares. Evening brings opportunities for activities that honest citizens prefer not to investigate too closely, creating demand for merchants willing to serve questionable customers without asking uncomfortable questions. Your experience teaches careful balance between profitable flexibility and dangerous involvement with criminal activities that could destroy your business reputation or personal safety. You sell basic supplies to anyone with legitimate currency, but refuse special orders or unusual quantities that might implicate you in illegal schemes. As you prepare to close your shop for another night, the rhythms of Roman social stratification have played out in miniature across your small commercial space. Each customer category brought distinct needs, shopping patterns, and relationship expectations that reflect the empire's complex hierarchical structure, while revealing the universal human desires that transcend historical boundaries. The heavy wooden shutters slide closed with their familiar groan as you secure the bronze latches that will protect your inventory until dawn returns. Across the narrow street, Flavius performs the same ritual at his lamp shop, his movement synchronized with yours through years of shared routine. The metallic click of his latches echoes off the stone walls, creating a duet of closing sounds that marks another day's end in the artisan quarter. Most people assume Roman merchants competed ruthlessly against each other, but actually the collegium system created bonds stronger than family ties between neighbouring shopkeepers. Your membership in the Collegium Lucenariorum, the Guild of Lamp Makers and Sellers, connects you to a network spanning the entire empire through shared rituals, mutual obligations, and collective protection that no individual merchant could achieve alone. Tomorrow evening brings the monthly guild meeting in the hall behind Marcus Aurelius's pottery workshop, where 37 lamp merchants will gather to discuss pricing standards, quality control measures, and territorial agreements that maintain profitable harmony among potential competitors. The meetings follow ancient customs that blend religious ceremony with practical business planning, creating sacred bonds that Romans consider more binding than written contracts. You reach beneath your counter to retrieve the small bronze plaque bearing your guild symbol, a lamp surrounded by olive branches representing the light of commerce illuminating civilization's progress. Each member displays this emblem prominently, communicating professional credentials to customers while warning unauthorized sellers that established merchants protect their territories through legal and extra-legal means when necessary. Flavius approaches your doorway carrying a cup of mulled wine warmed with honey and spices, his daily gesture of neighborly cooperation that strengthens the informal alliance between your shops. His lined face bears the permanent squint of someone who examines tiny details in flickering lamplight, while his fingers show the characteristic burns that mark experienced bronze workers who shape hot metal into functional art. He settles onto the stone bench outside your shop, patting the space beside him in invitation to share the day's final conversation. This evening, ritual provides opportunity to exchange information about customer preferences, supply problems, and potential threats that might affect both businesses. Roman merchants survived through collective intelligence gathering that modern corporations would recognize as sophisticated market research. Flavius reports unusual activity at the docks where lamp oil arrives from Spanish olive groves, mentioning delayed shipments and rumours of increased taxation on imported goods. Such information carries enormous value for merchants whose profits depend on accurate forecasting of supply costs and availability. Guild members share these insights freely, understanding that collective prosperity benefits everyone more than individual advantages gained through secrecy. The conversation turns to Lucius Maximus, the wealthy investor who recently opened a large lamp shop 3 streets over in the Forum district. His establishment represents a new type of commercial threat that traditional guild structures struggle to address effectively. Unlike neighborhood merchants who live above their shops and maintain personal relationships with regular customers, Lucius employs slaves to operate his business, while he focuses on real estate investments and political networking. Most people think Roman guilds were primitive organizations, but actually they operated with sophisticated understanding of market economics and competitive strategy that would impress modern business schools. Your collegium maintains detailed records of member territories, customer bases, and specialization agreements that prevent destructive competition while encouraging innovation and quality improvement. The guild's territorial system divides the city into clearly defined districts where specific members hold exclusive rights to establish shops and solicit customers. Your territory encompasses 12 city blocks radiating from this corner location, providing protected market area sufficient to support a modest family, while contributing appropriate dues to collective guild activities. Newcomers seeking to establish lamp businesses must petition the guild for territorial assignments and demonstrate adequate capital, technical skills, and moral character through extensive investigation procedures. The process typically requires 6 months of evaluation, including apprenticeship with established members who vouch for candidates' competence and reliability. Flavius mentions that tomorrow's guild meeting will address Lucius Maximus's challenge to traditional territorial boundaries through his Forum district location and aggressive pricing strategies. Wealthy outsiders who attempt to dominate established trades face coordinated resistance from guild members who possess legal, economic, and political resources accumulated through generations of collective organization. Guild solidarity extends far beyond simple business cooperation into comprehensive social support systems that provide security during illness, injury, or family emergencies. Members contribute monthly assessments that fund relief payments for disabled colleagues, funeral expenses for deceased members' families, and legal defense costs when individual merchants face lawsuits or criminal charges. Your own family experienced this support network's value when your father suffered a broken leg that prevented him from working for 3 months. Guild members provided daily meal deliveries, temporary shop assistance, and medical care that preserved both his health and business viability during the recovery period. Such collective responsibility creates bonds stronger than mere commercial associations. The Guild also maintains its own burial society that ensures proper funeral rites for all members, regardless of their family's financial circumstances. Roman religious beliefs require elaborate ceremonies to guarantee safe passage into the afterlife, making funeral expenses potentially devastating for modest households. Guild membership provides guaranteed dignity in death that reflects professional status and community respect. Religious observances form another crucial guild function that modern people often overlook when studying ancient commerce. Your collegium sponsors annual festivals honoring Minerva, the goddess of crafts and wisdom, through elaborate processions, temple offerings, and public banquets that demonstrate collective prosperity and divine favor to the entire community. These religious celebrations serve multiple purposes beyond spiritual obligations. They provide opportunities for networking with members from other city districts, displaying finest merchandise to attract new customers, and negotiating supply agreements with producers who attend guild festivals seeking retail outlets for their goods. Flavius describes preparations for next month's Minerva festival, when guild members will march through the city carrying their finest lamps in a torch-lit procession that transforms commercial rivalry into spectacular public entertainment. The event requires months of planning, including costume preparation, musical entertainment, and feast organization that showcases guild prosperity and organizational capabilities. Competition between different craft guilds adds another layer of complexity to Roman commercial life that most historians underestimate significantly. Potter guilds compete with lamp makers for decorative lighting markets. Metalworker associations challenge both groups through bronze vessels that serve multiple functions, including illumination. These inter-guild rivalries require diplomatic skills and strategic alliances that resemble modern corporate negotiations. Your lamp guild maintains formal alliance agreements with oil merchants who supply fuel for your products, creating mutually beneficial relationships that exclude competitors from essential supply chains. Similar partnerships with bronze suppliers, ceramic workshops, and transportation guilds provide integrated business networks that independent merchants cannot match through individual negotiations. Guild political influence operates through carefully cultivated relationships with magistrates, senators, and imperial administrators who rely on craft associations for taxation revenue, public order maintenance, and skilled labor during municipal construction projects. Your collegium's endorsement carries significant weight in local elections, making politicians eager to support guild interests through favorable legislation and regulatory decisions. The conversation shifts to neighborhood dynamics that affect daily business operations in ways that extend far beyond guild membership. Your corner location places you at the intersection of 3 distinct residential areas with different economic characteristics and social expectations that require diplomatic navigation skills. The apartment buildings to your north house working families whose breadwinners labour in construction, transportation and food service industries. These customers prioritise functionality over decoration, seeking durable lamps that provide reliable illumination at affordable prices. They pay promptly but negotiate vigorously, viewing successful bargaining as essential skill for household management. Westward lies a district of modest single-family homes occupied by skilled artisans, lower-level government clerks, and retired military veterans living on pensions. These customers appreciate quality craftsmanship and willingly pay premium prices for superior merchandise, but they expect respectful treatment and knowledgeable service that acknowledges their social status and professional achievements. The southern blocks contain luxurious townhouses where wealthy merchants, successful lawyers, and minor aristocrats maintain elaborate households staffed with numerous slaves. These customers purchase expensive decorative lamps for entertaining purposes, while delegating practical lighting needs to household managers who buy utilitarian items from less prestigious shops. Neighborhood social dynamics create complex webs of obligation and expectation that successful merchants must navigate carefully to avoid offense that could devastate business relationships. A perceived slight to one prominent family might result in organized boycotts that spread through social networks faster than fire through wooden buildings during drought seasons. Flavius recounts a cautionary tale from last year when Gaius the Potter made disparaging comments about a customer's provincial accent, not realizing the man was newly appointed as district tax assessor with authority to audit every merchant's declared income. The resulting investigation cost Gaius substantial bribes and legal fees, while providing object lessons about discretion that all neighbouring shopkeepers absorbed thoroughly. Local religious observances add another layer of social complexity that affects commercial rhythms in ways modern secular societies cannot easily comprehend. Neighbourhood temples sponsor frequent festivals that close businesses, redirect pedestrian traffic, and create opportunities or obstacles depending on merchants' participation levels and community standing. Your shop's proximity to the Temple of Mercury, patron deity of commerce and communication, provides significant advantages during monthly festivals when worshippers seek blessed oil for temple lamps and votive offerings. However, this location also requires respectful behavior and generous contributions that maintain good relationships with priests who influence community opinion about individual merchants' piety and trustworthiness. As night deepens around your quiet conversation, the sounds of urban life gradually diminish to whispers of distant activity and occasional footsteps of late travellers hurrying toward home destinations. Guild solidarity and neighbourhood cooperation have shaped another successful day of commercial activity, providing the social framework that transforms individual entrepreneurship into collective prosperity that benefits everyone within the community network. Flavius rises from the bench and clasps your shoulder in farewell, his calloused hand conveying friendship strengthened through shared challenges and mutual support that transcends simple business relationships. Tomorrow will bring new opportunities and obstacles, requiring the same combination of individual skill and collective wisdom that has sustained Roman commerce for generations across an empire that spans 3 continents. The cool evening breeze carries the faint scent of wood smoke from countless hearths being rekindled as Roman families prepare for another night. You breathe deeply, detecting subtle changes in the air that speak of autumn's approach, despite the calendar showing only late summer. Your years behind this counter have taught you to read atmospheric signals that predict customer behavior weeks before obvious seasonal transitions arrive. Tomorrow marks the festival of Vulcan, the god of fire and forge, which transforms your humble lamp shop into the neighborhood's most essential establishment. Roman religious calendar dictates that all flames throughout the city must be extinguished at sunset, then rekindled from sacred fires blessed by priests at Vulcan's temple. This annual ritual creates demand for hundreds of oil lamps, as households require fresh lighting sources for the ceremonial relighting. Most people assume Roman festivals were simple religious observances, but actually they operated as sophisticated economic engines that redistributed wealth, stimulated consumption, and provided crucial income opportunities for merchants who understood seasonal market dynamics. Your lamp sales during Vulcan's festival typically equal an entire month of regular business, requiring careful inventory planning that begins immediately after each year's celebration ends. The festival preparations already show in neighborhood activity patterns as servants hurry between shops collecting supplies needed for elaborate household ceremonies. Roman religious observance demands specific lamp designs blessed by appropriate deities, creating specialized markets that exist nowhere else in the commercial calendar. Vulcan lamps must feature hammer and anvil motifs, while their oil burns with particular fragrances achieved through expensive aromatic additives. Flavius nods toward the temple district, where orange glow suggests priests are already preparing sacred fires that will burn continuously until tomorrow evening's citywide ceremony. The logistics of coordinating flame distribution across Rome's 14 districts require months of planning, involving temple hierarchies, civic officials, and merchant guilds whose cooperation ensures adequate lamp supplies reach every neighborhood simultaneously. Winter approaching means fundamental changes in customer purchasing patterns that extend far beyond simple seasonal preferences. Roman heating systems rely primarily on charcoal braziers and oil lamps for warmth, making your shop essential infrastructure during cold months when inadequate lighting can mean death from carbon monoxide poisoning or house fires started by poorly maintained equipment. The wealthy prepare for winter by purchasing elaborate bronze lampstands that elevate flames safely above floor level while providing maximum heat radiation. These luxury items cost more than most Romans earn in half a year, but they represent necessary investments for households that entertain guests throughout the social season, when political alliances form through carefully orchestrated dinner parties. Middle-class families focus on practical considerations when purchasing winter lighting, seeking lamps with large oil reservoirs that burn steadily through long December nights without requiring constant refilling. Roman winter days shrink to barely 8 hours of useful daylight, making artificial illumination essential for any productive activity, including textile work, food preparation, and children's education. Your inventory planning must account for oil consumption patterns that quadruple during winter months, as customers burn lamps from late afternoon until dawn. Supply chains from Spanish olive groves face weather delays that can strand merchant vessels for weeks in Mediterranean ports, creating shortage anxiety that drives panic buying among experienced householders who remember previous winter's fuel crises. Spring festivals present different commercial opportunities, shaped by renewal themes that permeate Roman religious consciousness during months when agricultural cycles determine imperial prosperity. Fertility celebrations require special lamp designs featuring symbols of abundance, growth, and divine blessing, that command premium prices from customers seeking supernatural assistance for family planning or business ventures. The Festival of Flora transforms your neighborhood into a flower-bedecked marketplace where lamp merchants compete to create the most elaborate floral displays surrounding their merchandise. Customers expect theatrical presentations that demonstrate prosperity and artistic sophistication, making simple product sales insufficient for maintaining competitive position during this crucial selling season. Roman agricultural calendar creates ripple effects throughout urban commerce that modern city dwellers cannot easily comprehend. Harvest festivals flood markets with countryside customers carrying money earned from crop sales, creating temporary prosperity that merchants must capture efficiently before rural visitors return to their villages with unsold goods and unspent coins. Flavius describes last spring's record sales during the week following grain harvest celebrations, when farmers' wives purchased decorative lamps for daughters' wedding ceremonies planned during traditional marriage season. These bulk purchases required extending credit arrangements across several months, gambling that agricultural prosperity would continue through payment schedules coordinated with seasonal income patterns. Summer heat brings unique challenges that test merchant adaptability and customer service skills as temperatures soar beyond comfortable levels for normal shopping activities. Roman architecture provides minimal protection from Mediterranean sun, making midday commerce nearly impossible during July and August when stone pavement becomes too hot for bare feet. Your summer business strategy shifts toward dawn and dusk sales windows when temperatures allow comfortable shopping while maintaining adequate lighting for product examination. This compressed schedule requires efficient inventory management and customer service that maximizes revenue during shortened operating hours without compromising quality or safety standards. Most people think Romans simply endured heat passively, but actually they developed sophisticated cooling techniques that created specialized markets for merchants who understood seasonal adaptation requirements. Demand soars for small oil lamps designed to float in water basins, providing gentle illumination while cooling surrounding air through evaporation effects that make indoor spaces more comfortable. Summer festivals celebrate different themes than winter observances, focusing on outdoor activities that showcase community prosperity and divine favor through elaborate public spectacles requiring thousands of portable lamps for evening entertainment. The Festival of Neptune creates maritime celebrations where floating lamps transform the Tiber River into ribbons of light that can be seen from hills surrounding the city. These aquatic displays require specially designed waterproof lamps using bronze construction techniques that cost significantly more than standard ceramic models. However, wealthy customers willingly pay premium prices for unique items that demonstrate their sophisticated taste and generous piety during public religious celebrations that enhance social status. Rainy season disrupts normal commerce patterns in ways that force merchants to develop alternative sales strategies or face devastating income losses during months when outdoor shopping becomes impractical for most customers. Roman streets lack adequate drainage systems, creating muddy conditions that ruin textile displays and make pottery transportation extremely hazardous. Your shop's corner location provides partial protection from weather through covered walkway access, but inventory requires waterproofing measures that add costs to merchandise while creating storage challenges in limited space. Oil lamps must be protected from moisture that can crack ceramic bodies or contaminate fuel supplies with bacterial growth that produces dangerous fumes. Wealthy customers adapt to rainy weather by sending slaves to conduct shopping errands, creating indirect sales relationships that require different negotiation approaches and payment arrangements. Servants often lack authority to make final purchasing decisions, necessitating tentative agreements subject to master approval that complicates inventory management and cash flow planning. Religious calendar complexity creates overlapping festival seasons that generate continuous commercial opportunities for merchants who master the intricate scheduling of Roman sacred observances. Your mental calendar tracks dozens of major celebrations, plus countless minor feast days honoring specific deities, neighborhood spirits, and imperial anniversaries that require appropriate lamp designs and ceremonial supplies. Flavius mentions next month's overlap between harvest festivals and military victory celebrations that will create unprecedented demand for both agricultural abundance symbols and martial triumph decorations. Successful merchants prepare inventory assortments that serve multiple festival requirements without appearing to dilute religious significance through inappropriate commercial combinations. The economic impact of festival seasons extends beyond direct sales, increases into broader market effects that influence pricing, supply availability, and competitive dynamics throughout the commercial year. Major celebrations attract merchants from distant provinces seeking to capitalize on urban prosperity, creating temporary oversupply situations that depress prices, while providing opportunities for bulk purchasing that supports off-season inventory accumulation. Your guild coordinates festival participation through collective purchasing agreements that leverage combined buying power while preventing destructive price competition during peak demand periods. These arrangements require delicate balance between individual profit maximization and collective market stability that benefits all members through sustained customer relationships and predictable revenue streams. Weather prediction becomes crucial skill for merchants whose success depends on anticipating customer needs weeks before obvious seasonal changes become apparent to casual observers. You study cloud patterns, wind direction shifts, and animal behavior indicators that provide advance warning of temperature changes or storm systems that will affect shopping patterns and supply logistics. Roman farmers possess sophisticated meteorological knowledge developed through generations of agricultural experience, creating informal information networks that connect rural weather observations with urban commercial planning. Conversations with countryside customers provide invaluable forecasting data that supplements your own atmospheric observations with broader regional climate indicators. The approaching autumn promises another cycle of seasonal business fluctuations that will test your adaptability while providing opportunities for merchants who understand the complex interplay between weather, religion, and commerce that drives Roman economic activity. Each season brings distinct challenges and rewards that require continuous learning and strategic adjustment to maintain profitable operations in an economy shaped by forces beyond any individual's control. As the evening air grows cooler around your quiet street corner, you reflect on the intricate patterns that govern commercial success. In a civilization where nature and divinity interweave through human activity in ways that create both predictable rhythms and constant surprises, that keep merchant life eternally interesting and occasionally profitable beyond modest expectations. The last traces of twilight fade from the narrow slice of sky visible between the towering insulae that line your street, their upper stories disappearing into darkness like ancient monuments reaching toward distant stars. You and Flavius sit in comfortable silence, two merchants whose lives have been shaped by the eternal rhythms of commerce, community, and seasonal change that define existence in the world's greatest city. A gentle breeze stirs the hanging oil lamp outside your doorway, its flame dancing in patterns that cast shifting shadows across the worn stone threshold. This simple light represents everything your small shop contributes to the vast tapestry of Roman civilization. Each flickering flame illuminates not just physical darkness, but the complex networks of trade, tradition, and human relationship that connect your corner establishment to olive groves in distant Spain, pottery workshops in Gaul, and the imperial palace where tomorrow's policies will shape next year's commercial opportunities. The coins in your leather pouch tell stories of empire that extend far beyond their monetary value. Bronze sister-tea from African mints carry traces of desert sand between their raised letters. Silver denarii bearing previous emperors' profiles connect your daily transactions to historical moments when different leaders shaped imperial destiny through decisions made in marble halls you will never see. Each piece of currency represents the vast logistical achievement that maintains economic stability across 3 continents, where millions of people conduct business using standardized weights, measures, and values that make your neighborhood lamp shop part of history's most sophisticated commercial network. Your customers today embodied the full spectrum of Roman society in miniature. Old Gaius, with his precise evening routine, demonstrates how individual habits create the predictable patterns that allow merchants to anticipate demand and maintain profitable inventory levels. Young Marcus represents the empire's future, his education and enthusiasm ensuring that Roman commercial traditions will continue evolving through new generations who blend respect for established practices with innovative adaptations to changing circumstances. The guild connections that bind your shop to dozens of neighbouring businesses reflect social structures that most people completely misunderstand when they imagine ancient commerce as primitive barter between isolated individuals. Actually, Roman trade operated through sophisticated networks of professional associations, territorial agreements, and mutual support systems that provided security and prosperity impossible for independent operators to achieve alone. Your membership in the Lampsellers Collegium connects you to colleagues in Alexandria, Londinium, and frontier settlements where Roman merchants carry civilization's light into wilderness regions that know neither law nor learning. Seasonal rhythms that govern your business cycles reveal how deeply Roman life remained connected to natural forces despite urban sophistication that surpassed anything humanity would achieve again for more than 1,000 years. Festival calendars coordinate religious observance with economic opportunity in ways that demonstrate the integration of spiritual belief with practical necessity that modern secular societies often struggle to comprehend. When tomorrow's Vulcan celebration requires every household to rekindle their flames from blessed temple fires, your lamp shop becomes essential infrastructure supporting community ritual that binds individual families into collective identity stronger than mere political allegiance. The inventory carefully arranged on your wooden shelves represents supply chains spanning the known world through merchant networks that operate with remarkable efficiency, despite lacking any communication faster than sailing ships and mounted messengers. Glass bottles from Syrian workshops, bronze mirrors from Spanish foundries, and silk scarves from mysterious Chinese kingdoms demonstrate commercial relationships that connect your small Roman shop to production centers thousands of miles away where craftsmen you will never meet create goods destined for customers whose names you know by heart. Weather patterns and agricultural cycles that influence your sales throughout the year reveal how Roman urban life remained fundamentally dependent on rural productivity despite the city's massive size and political importance. When Spanish olive harvests determine lamp oil prices, when Gallic grain supplies affect customer purchasing power, when Mediterranean storms delay merchant vessels carrying essential inventory, your shop experiences the interconnected nature of imperial economy where prosperity depends on coordination across vast distances and diverse populations. The negotiation customs and payment methods that structure your daily transactions reflect social hierarchies that create order and stability within Rome's complex multicultural population. When wealthy patricians expect respectful haggling that acknowledges their superior status, when middle-class customers engage in vigorous bargaining that demonstrates commercial sophistication, when working people approach purchases with straightforward efficiency born of limited time and resources, these interactions create predictable patterns that allow successful merchants to serve diverse clientele while maintaining profitable operations. Your neighborhood relationships extend far beyond simple commercial competition into networks of mutual support and shared information that create resilience against economic disruption and personal crisis. When guild members provide assistance during illness or injury, when neighbouring shopkeepers share intelligence about supply problems and customer preferences, when community leaders coordinate festival participation and territorial agreements, these connections demonstrate how individual success depends on collective prosperity in ways that pure competition cannot achieve. The progression from dawn's first customers through evening's final transactions reveals daily rhythms shaped by work schedules, social obligations, and legal restrictions that create opportunities for merchants who understand temporal patterns governing Roman urban life. Early morning slave purchases, midday luxury shopping, afternoon emergency needs, and evening preparation rituals each require different inventory, pricing strategies, and customer service approaches that successful merchants master through years of careful observation and adaptation. Flavius rises from the stone bench with the slow movements of someone whose body carries decades of honest labour, his joints stiff from cold evening air, but his spirit content with another day's productive work completed successfully. His farewell nod conveys friendship deepened through shared challenges and mutual respect earned through consistent fair dealing and reliable support during difficult times. Tomorrow will bring new opportunities and obstacles, but tonight offers satisfaction earned through competent service to community needs and careful stewardship of family business traditions. You secure the final shutters and check the locks one more time, performing rituals inherited from your father and grandfather, who built this shop's reputation through patient attention to detail and unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. The bronze key turns smoothly in its well-oiled mechanism, protecting inventory and equipment that represent not just monetary investment, but family legacy, passed down through generations of Roman merchants who understood that commercial success requires balancing individual ambition with community responsibility. The narrow street grows quiet as neighbouring shops complete their closing procedures, and residents retreat to private quarters for evening meals and family time. Oil lamps begin appearing in upper-story windows, where Roman families gather around small tables to share bread, discuss the day's events, and plan tomorrow's activities. These intimate domestic scenes represent the ultimate purpose of all commercial activity, the simple human needs for food, shelter, safety, and companionship that drive the vast economic machinery connecting your corner shop to the farthest reaches of imperial territory. Above the darkened street, stars emerge in patterns that have guided Mediterranean sailors for countless generations. The same constellations that illuminate merchant vessels carrying goods destined for Roman markets, that shine on olive groves and pottery workshops and mining operations that supply your inventory, that witness the endless human drama of ambition, cooperation, and adaptation that sustains civilization through changing seasons and imperial succession. Your small lamp shop closes another chapter in the endless story of Roman commerce, having served its modest but essential role in the vast network of relationships, traditions, and practical necessities that maintain prosperity and order across an empire where millions of people wake each morning to light lamps, conduct business, serve customers, and build the future through countless individual decisions that collectively shape the course of human history. The gentle sounds of evening settle around your quiet street corner like a familiar blanket, bringing peace to another day lived according to rhythms established by generations of Romans who understood that true success comes not from individual achievement alone, but from patient participation in the larger human community that transforms personal effort into collective prosperity, private virtue into public good, and daily routine into timeless tradition that will outlive any single lifetime. Thank you for joining us on this peaceful journey through ancient Rome. If you enjoyed our work and are still awake, check out our other content exploring the quiet corners of history where ordinary people lived extraordinary lives. And if you have fallen asleep, rest well and enjoy the campfire.